Hi everyone, I'm Ali. I'm a compulsive overeater and grateful to be sharing on step 9. I get nervous when I was asked. I was like, oh God, because I do find it, I find it nerve-wracking. So I'm just putting that out there. But it is an opportunity to give service, so I can't really turn that down. And it's good because I've gone through. It's helped me remind myself. It's been a while since I did step 9 with my sponsor. And it's been really good to look through like all the letters that I wrote and edited and re-edited when I made amends and how I went through the process. And I think with step 9, I can't just talk about step 9 without talking about the previous steps. And, before I even get to step 9, it's that integral to this program, for me in my abstinence, our work in the steps. And I can't start the steps until I'm abstinent. Um, because the steps for me, well, they're like a rich tapestry. And, if you get a stitch wrong, then the rest is just going to fall apart. So if I haven't got a solid step 1 and I don't admit my powerlessness over my disease, that my life's become unmanageable, then step 2 is going to be wobbly. And by the time it's come to step 9, it's just going to be, you know, it's just going to be very wobbly. And for me, I'm so grateful that when I came in, to OA, I'd been in other fellowships, but I do believe, and I'd been in other fellowships for some years, but I do believe that my willingness and openness and honesty when I came into OA and getting the right sponsor, and that was the crux for me. You can't do step 9 without a sponsor. You can't do any of these steps without a sponsor, in my opinion. And so for me, it's that, that step 2, admitting I'm powerless, but then admitting that actually I am powerless, but I need help, can't help myself. And then, someone can help me. So my sponsor, the meeting, group of compulsive overeaters, but then actually I need to open a chink of light for something, a higher power. And, and so every step for me, there's been a journey, and now that's ongoing through 10, 11 and 12. And like the start of step 9 for me is that step 4 and 5. It's that inventory, and doing that inventory with and then step 5, going through the inventory, going through my part, and my sponsor saying, oh, I think, I can't remember now, put like a red circle around the list of names, and you'll probably need to look at them in step 9, in your step 8 list. And so I've already got that list. And then 6 and 7, I've already looked at my part and my resentment. So I'm able to go, you know what, these defects all run by self-will. They make my life what it is. No one else can make me angry. Only I can make myself angry. Therefore, I'm the one that sets up their resentments, and therefore I'm probably going to harm someone. So by doing that thorough and honest and fearless inventory, and highlighting my defects, by the time I've got to step 8, I'm even more willing to go, okay, to put those names on the list, to put all those people that actually, I've harmed these people. And, and it's that I hear newcomers are coming in, they kind of come in and they've even done step 1 and they balk at step 9, but it's just like, focus on the step I'm on. And so it was good. I think recently we did step 8 and listening to that, and just, for me, steps 8 and 9, I've just referred, because otherwise I go off on tangents, but it's in page 76 in the big book, little big book. We've completed step 7. I've praying for God to remove every single defect of character, and I'm really opening up to higher power. By the time I've got to step 8, I'm really open. By the time I've got to step 9, I'm like, I'm scared, but I've got my higher power. I've got this program. And it says faith without works is dead. I can have a higher power and work the steps preceding, but I need to take action. And I really like this, kind of says it all to me. We subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal. Now we go out to our fellows and repair the damage done in the past. we attempt to sweep away the debris which has accumulated out of my effort to live on self-will and run the show myself. If we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. You know, because most of the harm I've done is created through my defects. So self-pity, dishonesty, self-seeking fear, ego, victim. So most people, unrealistic expectations. So I run the show, and, you know, and one of my biggest harms was to myself through the chaos of my life, but, you know, also having affairs with people that were unavailable, harming spouses, harming my parents, taking away their peace of mind. And also, you know, what was amazing about working with my sponsor in the OA way, using, you know, doing it through the big book was, and I hadn't done this before because I'd done step 9s before, but actually it was I hadn't really highlighted financial harms. And it talks a lot about it in the big book, actually, but I haven't read the big book like I have done since being in OA. But it talks about financial harms and actually not just financial, but also, you know, whilst having this affair, a lot of it was conducted in the workplace. So actually, I took a lot of their hours. And I'll give you an example, you know, a place I used to work at, you know, with my sponsor, I'd worked out how many hours I'd taken from them, worked out hourly. Actually, you know, probably on average a week, I spent about 5 hours running around after this guy and actually not doing the job that I should have been doing. And so, and this was years, this was, you know, I made these amends in 2017. So this had all happened in 2009. So I went back to this place of work and had to chase down these people, call HR, and I was not living in the place, you know. But it talks about in the big book about we want to make amends direct if possible. And in this case, I could. And I sense that probably pre-pandemic, it was probably easier as well. But so, and I just remember sitting down and reading this letter, this, you know, I am in recovery and I need to do this to, you know, live to move on to the next stage of my life. You know, all the letter that I would have gone through with my sponsor several times. And it's just, some of the responses were just so amazing. You know, I remember, you know, this woman in HR just looking at me like, okay. And well, we can't take your money because it was £300. She said, well, we can't take your money because, so then I chose a charity that was related to the job. So then I just made an anonymous contribution. And but can you imagine like the fear? Oh my God, I'm just gonna have to go to these people. I'm gonna have to, it's probably here somewhere, probably gonna have to get a letter, get this kind of thing that I've written and say, you know, I'm a compulsive overeater, member of OA. One of the aspects of my recovery involves making amends to those I've harmed. And I remember, because when I was 14, I'd stolen some stuff from Boots and going into Boots. And my sponsor was like, no, you can go to any Boots. And going in there and kind of speaking to a shop assistant. And you know what? Their responses were just amazing. And it talks about that, you know, 9 out of 10 cases, you know, people are really kind. And I think what is so powerful about step 9, and this all again is the rich tapestry of the program, because for me where I'm at now, like that working solidly, step 12 is that principles in all our affairs. It kind of, you know, step 9 is it's that doorway to forgiveness. For me, it's that if I can open my heart to forgive myself and others, something just, and that for me is that's the personality change, that's a spiritual awakening, you know. And it talks about it, you know, it talks about the promises, you know, and it's halfway through step 9. So when I was doing step 9 and going out and physically making these amends, it's on page 83 at the bottom, you know, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. Oh, it makes me want to cry. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Oh, that's weird. I wasn't expecting that. we will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. And no matter how far down the scale we've gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others.
10 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes left.
Thank you. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. And I think I kind of, that emotion there, it's like we will know a new freedom and a new happiness. Like, you know, before coming into OA and working the steps, like I have, you know, and I'm so grateful to those people that have helped me and my sponsor and my abstinence, because this freedom keeps growing. But step 9 for me, working step 9 was the first real big fundamental change in my personality started, that spiritual awakening, I got them all the way through. But for me, step 9, you know, coming out of that shop where I've just made that amends, coming away from my sister-in-law, that, you know, my mum who's since died, you know, the wreckage from my past, every amends I make, a chink falls away, and that chink that falls away, the sunlight to the spirit, whatever that looks like to you guys, to me it's nature. It changes. It's not, it's formless. It's infinite. It's not even human. It's infinite, and I won't even describe it because everyone has their own sense of it. But for me, it's that coming out of a shop after I've made an amends, and I just feel so light. I feel so light. And the thing is, you know, spending my life just being anger, resentment, you know, it's exhausting and it's miserable. And step 9 is that there's actually real hope. You know, and self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us, and we will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. And, you know, and now when I'm doing step 10 and I'm making on the spot amends, or, you know, now because I have the maintenance steps, it's not building up where I have to do a step 9. You know, I've made my amends from my past. And when my mum died, you know, I'd made complete peace with her. And part of step 9 as well is making amends, you know, financial, making it to our families, but also it's about making ongoing amends. You know, don't just do step 9 and then get back on the path of destruction. And one of the major gifts of my recovery, and my sponsor knows this, is that, you know, when my mum died, you know, I was at complete peace. There was no, you know, my recovery really changed then, because this is the program in action, actually. You know, because I'd made amends and ongoing amends to mum. First of all, I was the last person to speak to her. And the last time I saw her, I told her I loved her, because I just knew something wasn't right. That is this program. That is not human given, that's God given. And that to me was another spiritual awakening. And now, because of that, my ongoing amends, I now am a major part of my father's life, who isn't well either. And I know when he goes, I've done everything I can. So and as a result of working these steps, you know, the major of step 9 is that I intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle me. And also I can look at people, you know, I kind of, you know, and that was a long time ago. And the thing is, that was 2017 when I did step 9. But it doesn't just stop there. And what I found is, where I've opened myself up to admitting my wrongdoings and making amends, it's a completely different way of life. And it's part of giving service. You know, I want to give service and be a decent person. And I commit that when I speak to my sponsor about being a decent person and staying in conscious contact with God. And so now I've found that I've come to a place where, you know, that was, well, God, oh, that's a point. Is it the 5th of September yet? I'm nearly 6 years abstinent, and amazing that I'm so grateful every day, just for today, and so now I've kind of feel like, is that time? Oh, it's time. Wow, I'm just really grateful to be of service. Thank you, everyone.